Hey, you know, lots of people got caught up, you might recall, in the leveraging craze that had been going on really since about 1996 or 1997. And of course, all that borrowing couldn't go on forever, even though a lot of people thought it could. It finally did come crashing down just a little bit over 5 years ago. The aftermath was what? A lot of people with ruined credit, either from a foreclosed home, or a short sale of some kind, of bankruptcy, whatever, or some combination of all of the above. Well, as many people are going to tell you, it can be difficult to get out from under a bad credit report. Some of those dings on your report can stay there for, I think, what seems like several decades. The good news, though, if there is any, is that A, a lot of people are in that same position, and B, there are ways to actually make it better, or if not better, at least less bad. Heather Wagenhals knows a thing or two about personal credit and finance. She's the host of Unlock Your Wealth Radio. She's the author of Yes, You Can and several other books on business, money, credit, and other similar topics. And she's here with us on the Boomers Lifeline to talk about how people can rebuild their credit without going to the ends of the earth to get it done. Hey, Heather, welcome back to the show.
Well, thanks for having me on again, you guys.
Oh, hey, it's nice to have you. You're one of us. So now, in fact, someone's told me they said you're also billed as an etiquette goddess. Now, I'm going to have to ask you about that one day, but we're here to talk for a few minutes about credit. But I'm marking that down because I want to know what that's all about. Now, Heather, some stats have shown that the boomer generation was hit particularly hard by over-leveraging, where they lost not just their jobs, but of course they lost their homes, and then naturally their credit went south immediately after that. First of all, is it harder, in your opinion, to rebuild credit once it's been shot to Hades, or to begin building it from scratch when there was no credit to begin with?
I think rebuilding it is easier, and I'm going to qualify that statement, but if you had good credit previously and you had this little whoopsie, I think it's much better to rebuild and reestablish than it is to establish.
So, Heather, now that we're post-financial meltdown, do you think businesses or credit issuers are a little more understanding of people with ruined credit than they might have otherwise been?
Well, by now, we should be well past that. You know, the hiccup happened in 07, 08, so we started feeling those effects in the 9, 10. And by now, we should be fully past that and have distanced ourselves from the bad credit. The good news is that the way underwriters look at when they make underwriting decisions, and that is your credit score, and an underwriter only looks back the most recent 24 months to get an idea of what's going on. So if you had hiccups related to the financial catastrophe that we experienced, then you should be more than fine. What they're looking for is consistency. You can tell on a credit report the difference between somebody that, oh my gosh, forgot to pay their bill 1 month, or got over-leveraged, had to do a bankruptcy or some sort of organization or credit counseling, and you can tell the difference from somebody who's chronically slacking at bills. Because you see the hiccup, and then you see the reestablishment of the existing behavior pattern.
I see. I didn't know. I was kind of under the impression that once you had something big, like a bankruptcy or something like that, that kind of just poisoned the well for. They used to say, you know, 7 years you're never going to get credit. So you're saying that's not really the case. Is that right?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, a recent bankruptcy is good news for creditors because they are more likely to get paid back, number one, because you can't file for another 10 years, and number two, they could charge you a higher rate. So they'll be happy to extend you credit.
Okay, so Heather, for somebody whose credit's been burned by the financial crisis, if they're trying to live well these days without having a really, really good credit score, how does that work? Can people get by with all cash purchases and writing checks?
It's harder and harder the more we become this electronic society, and I just had my laptop smashed, my tablet won't charge. Everything I touched the last 24 hours has gone to heck in a handbasket. So it's really difficult to be in that cash society.
Yeah, it's to me it's almost impossible anymore. In fact, I hardly even deal with cash at all. Now, okay, so that takes care of the boomers. Now for younger people, Heather, who are looking to establish some credit, you kind of mentioned you thought it was more difficult there, but the classic catch-22, I think, seems to apply. They can't get credit unless they have it, and they can't have credit unless they get it. So how solve you, Heather?
Simply. First, you have to check your credit, and you're saying, but I never applied for a credit card. You have to find out if you've been a victim of fraud first. And like many others, my brother and I had a bunch of issues because Mama had our Social Security numbers, and so when her credit would go south, she'd start using mine and my brother's.
Oh, my.
So,
Wow.
Yeah, kind of nice little, birthday present. Hi, happy birthday, you're 18. I've already established some credit for you.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah. So you got to find out first if you've been a victim of fraud. And the sooner you do that, the easier it is to overcome it. Depending on how extensive the credit history is and the amount of fraud that's happened, you might be able to get a new Social Security number and start over from scratch. And then the second thing that you need to do is go apply for some credit. The best place to do that is where you've already established a checking and savings account. So they're already monitoring your financial behavior, and so they will be more likely to underwrite and give you a credit card to get started. But if not, all hope isn't lost because there are these secured credit cards. So you put up the savings account, and then they extend you the amount of credit up to 100 or 150% of whatever your balance is. And then as you utilize that credit, you get a year or two on the books. Then you'll be able to start improving your credit profile, and other marketing tools will start to take notice because you can buy names and information from the credit bureaus. That's how they make money. They don't make money selling credit reports. They make money through marketing databases. So I could say, I'm looking for people 18 to 25 that make at least, $24,000 a year and have a credit score of 580 and above. And
Wow.
so now I won't know specifically your particular credit profile, but they'll do a soft pull, and I'll be able to get all of that data, and then I can send that out. If you're my marketing demographic, I can send out
Really?
offers to you.
Wow, man, have things changed.
Yeah.
I looked away for just a minute, and all of a sudden they got access to all this information. Heather Wagenhals, unlockyourwealthradio.com. That's the website. Did I get that correct?
Yes, you did, as always.
Great. Well, hey, Heather, thanks very much. We'll have you on again. Always fun to talk with you. Take care of yourself.
You too, and keep him in line, Dinah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. As if, as they say, right? Well, you got me to wear green today. I don't know what happened to it. I had something anyway. All right, that's it for this hour of this show. If you need the Brain Trust, you go to boomersbraintrust.com. That's our show website. For Dinah Smith and everyone else, I'm Johnny Dean. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.